welcome back to my channel. So for this video, we're going to be reviewing some of my favorite scary movies that I've watched within the last month. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I'm a scary movie buff. I love scary movies, and I do this little thing on my Instagram story, little highlights, where I watch a scary movie and I give you like an immediate review right after, and I kind of just give you like a little bitty paragraph, and I vote like how much I liked it out of 5 stars. So there's some I'm like 3 out of 5, 5 out of 5, whatever. So if you do want to see like some of the movies I'm watching like in the moment, like some of the ones I saw like yesterday, then make sure you are following me on Instagram. That way you can see those right away, and you can actually vote for the ones that you like out of like my reviews right then and there. These first 5 were like some of the 5 that really stood out of all of them. I have watched like a good 20 of them, 20 to 30. I know that's a lot to watch in a month, but I just love them so much. There's times where I'll watch like 3 or 4 before I go to bed. So that's why. I also want to do reviews on like documentaries. Like I know Evil Genius, the one that just came out, that one was nuts. And like Making a Murder and like all those kind of like documentaries. Same thing, I could do some on that. If there's documentaries that you want me to review or kind of talk about or give you my thoughts on, leave them down below or like tweet them to me. That way I can know which ones you want to see reviews on. But all I did was basically do my makeup for the day. This is the look I came up with. I didn't show any really products that I use. If you love scary movies as much as I do, I feel like you'll really enjoy this too. And hopefully my review kind of helps you make a decision if you want to watch it or not. Also, all the links to the trailers will be down below. That way you can click on the trailer and get like a visual of like what the actual movie is about instead of me just talking about it. But yeah, you guys, that's what this video is going to be about. Just me doing my makeup, talking about some of my favorite scary movies, and just kind of giving you my opinions, why I liked them, and kind of like the story of the movie. I'm not doing any spoilers, so if you want to watch any of these movies, don't worry, I don't give away any secrets or what happened or anything like that. I don't spoil them for you. I just tell you kind of like the storyline behind it and like why I liked it. So if that's something that you would like to watch, then just stay tuned. So because I watch scary movies all the time before I go to bed and just randomly when I'm bored or as I'm editing, I always need some sort of sound playing in the background. So I just figured today should be my very first scary movie review. Get ready with me. So if you love scary movies and if you're kind of in the market for looking for new movies to watch or new scary movies, or you just like creepy shit like I do, then you'll really like this. I mostly watch all my movies on Netflix. I do have Hulu, which they sometimes have a good variety, and I have Prime Video as well. Prime Video sometimes has like newer, like cooler movies out, but I feel like Netflix has definitely stepped their game up recently. Like they really have some like awesome shit on there. So the ones I'm going to be reviewing today are going to be Netflix ones. If they're Hulu ones, I'll do like Hulu ones, or if they're Amazon Prime ones, I will do just Amazon Prime ones. But these 5 I did watch on Netflix, and these were recently, like within the last month. So the first movie I'm going to be reviewing is the movie called Before I Wake. I really liked that one because it was actually more cute than it was scary. Like it was scary, don't get me wrong, but the actual message it had was very beautiful. I feel like there were parts where I was honestly like, wow, that was so cute. It's not one of those like gory, like really crazy ones. So that one, I feel like if you don't really like the gory scary movies, you'd really like that one. That one came out in 2016 and it stars Kate Bosworth, which I really liked her actual acting in this movie. She did really good. I liked the story because it was about a husband and a wife who are trying to be foster parents because they actually lost their own little boy. So they are trying to foster a new child. So they do actually get another little boy, and when he first comes in, you're like, oh my god, he's so cute. Like I just wanted to hug him, super sweet. I guess he had been in like foster home from foster home, and he finally got this family. And then throughout the movie, and if you watch the trailer down below, you find out that he has this like awesome ability. Basically his dreams that he dreams, like when he goes to bed, they become true. And I was like, oh shit, like that would be so cool. And so As the story kind of goes on, you start to realize that he actually has been hiding like caffeine pills, and before he goes to bed he like chugs soda because he doesn't like going to sleep. Then you start to find out that like same with his actual dreams that come true, so do his nightmares, and that's where, oh fuck, it starts to get scary. I was like, there was some jumpy parts, and it's not like scary like 10 is being like the scariest movie I've ever seen in my life, like ever. This one would probably be like a 4.5 or 5. Like it has jumpy parts and like scary creepy parts, but it's not like scary like I want to die scary. Like it's still pretty manageable. But so then these events start happening, and then you start to go like, what the shit, like what is going on? And it just keeps getting crazier and crazier. Then some events start happening and CPS gets involved, and then you're like, whoa, what's going on? And they try separating the family and the little boy, and then the mom being like, you was not gonna take my boy away, like starts doing some investigating, and then starts to uncover some things from his past that really explain his nightmares and his dreams. And then the ending is like super cute, and I don't know, I really liked this movie because it was really scary, but it was also very, very cute and had like a really cute message behind it. So I would say if you want something that's scary, you're in the mood for something scary, but you want to start off slow, I would watch that one. I do recommend it. It was just so cute. So the next movie is the movie called The Veil. Now that one is the one that stars Jessica Alba. I believe this one came out in 2016 as well. Oh my god, this one was scary. Like this one was like scary. It's basically, I guess it kind of has to like, it's trying to tell a story of like similar things. Like if you know about the Jim Jones like mass suicide thing, like basically about like cult leaders who try to make their followers commit suicide because he's telling them that when they commit suicide, their soulless bodies will be left behind and their souls will travel to a better beyond. But yeah, so all those kind of like, if you like those mass suicide, cult leader, creepy fucking documentaries and stuff, then you'll really like this one because it tells a story of a cult leader, and basically same thing. He tried to have all his followers commit suicide because he believed in a further beyond, and that if you committed suicide, you weren't committing suicide, you were just being reborn again, because he created this antidote. And basically there was a nurse on hand who would, you would take this poison, you would die, but then they would revive you and you would be reborn again in a sense. Well, anyways, during the whole thing, things go wrong and you're like, oh fuck, like shit just went down. So like 25 or so years later, the children of an FBI agent that was there during the mass suicide and was like on the scene and did all that stuff, they want to film a documentary to kind of give justice to his dad and really find out what happened. And you know, they were like, my dad's life has just gone to shit, and they really wanted to know why. And so they tracked down the only survivor and they convinced her to like go back there. Like, I mean, can you imagine being the only survivor and then you don't want to go back to these memories, and you were, you know, a young girl and now you're older. Like, I wouldn't want to go back to that shit. But so they convince her to go back. So they go back in a van with like all their equipment because they're filming a documentary for it, to just like really undiscover like all these things and really get to know what happened and why, because they did have someone there that actually lived through it. So then as the movie goes by, they like go to the actual house, go to the actual place, and it's like a gated plantation or whatever. And the girl starts having kind of memories and visions of like back in the day when she was a young girl, and she like remembers this like little trailway, and then they end up going like through this little creek and stuff, and they find this abandoned house that I'm assuming like only this girl knew of because she was there. Like no one else probably knew how to get there, but she did. And when they get to that house, holy shit, they find like tapes on tapes on tapes on tapes on tapes of them filming experiments of them killing themselves and reviving themselves, and him jumping souls from body to body. And it was really crazy shit that I was like, damn, maybe this dude was legit, you know? Like maybe if I saw that with my own eyes, I would be like, damn, this dude's not kidding. Yep, I'm gonna kill myself. Like it was nuts what I was like, but they were watching that was going on. So then they are in the house and they all decide they want to watch the tapes. Some of them were like, nah, hell nah, I ain't doing that. So some of them stayed outside, made a fire, and like made like a camping thing, and they were like, what the hell? And I guess like during one of their first nights, like one of the dudes randomly goes missing and no one can find him, and everyone's like, what the hell? Their van's missing and they're like, what the hell? So then they find him and like the van's all crashed, he's all on the ground, and you're just like, what the hell's going on? And that was like the very first like shit's about to go down moment. After that, crazy shit like paranormal stuff, doors slamming, tables moving, them seeing visions, the lights, like crazy. And the more they watch the videos, the more things they start to find out, and it is just like, it is nuts. The ending, I was just kind of like, whoa, because it was kind of like full circle. But so yeah, that one was a really good one. It told a really good story because I really like those kind of like documentaries and things, like those kind of mysteries of like, damn, like what, I would wonder what it would be like to actually be there and him being like, kill yourself, it's okay, let's all die. Like, God, I don't even know like what that would be like. So yeah, that one was a really good one. It was scary. Like I would say 7 out of 10 scary. That one, I did kind of have my blanket like, oh shit, but I like doing that to myself. I like being scared. So that one I recommend. Plus Jessica Alba's in it and she's hot, so why would you not want to watch it? The trailer is down below, so if you do want to see the trailer, go for it. You'll see just within the own trailer that it was like scary as shit. I was like, oh damn, like that one was scary. I really liked that one, especially because you weren't expecting some of the things that were happening, so you were just like, whoa. So that one was a good one. I do recommend. So the next movie is called Oculus. That one I really liked. That one I had forgot I had seen, and then I remembered. That one I think came out also in like 2015 or 2016. But I had forgotten that I had seen that one until I saw like the iconic scene was where she is eating an apple, and so she grabs to pick up the apple and then she bites into a light bulb instead of an apple, and it was like, oh yeah. So basically this one tells a story about two siblings in their adult years, and they're trying to kind of tell a story on their like really violent, crazy childhood, and they're trying to prove that the reason why all this shit happened in their childhood wasn't because their parents were crazy. It was because this haunted mirror that they had in their house was possessing people and like causing all these deaths and suicides and crazy shit, right? And they set up cameras everywhere, they set up like voice recorders, they had this whole entire setup that was like foolproof, that would prove that this mirror was haunted. So as the mirror goes by, as the movie goes by, there's like flashbacks of their childhood to now, and it compares some of the things that happened, so it really explains like if the mirror really is haunted and things that they remember as children that they're like, nah, like I was not tripping, that fucking mirror did that. And so then really crazy things start to happen that like, I guess were repeating themselves from back when they were children. And like crazy stuff that you're like, whoa, did that happen? Did that not happen? Then like the boy who had worked so hard to try to block out those images and those memories out of his brain starts to get all these flashbacks and all these memories that he worked so hard to make himself believe, no, this didn't happen, start to happen. So then he starts losing his shit, and then the ending was nuts. I was not expecting the ending. I was like, wait a minute, did that really just happen? Because that ending kind of tricked me at first. It was like a mind fuck. I was like, wait, that didn't happen. Haha, it's a joke. And then it really did happen, and I was like, that really just happened. That one was really cool. I enjoyed that one. It had really jumpy parts, so I think that's what I liked about it. It was kind of cheesy with the scariness, but the jumpy parts is what gets me. And I enjoyed it. I feel like I liked it. I'm a scary movie fan, so I feel like there's really not many scary movies I don't enjoy or like. So the next movie was called Gerald's Game. That one was more of a thriller than an actual scary movie. I feel like that one didn't really have me jumping with like scary parts. It was more of like, what the fuck type of like thriller. With that one, I did enjoy that one because that one was good. Basically tells the story of this couple who are going on this like getaway trip, I guess, to just work on you know, couple issues, and they want to experiment with different things in bed in their romantic life. So they go to this like lake house, I guess they own. So it starts, you know, with them kind of, you find out a little bit about them on their way up there. They're just this couple that wants to work on themselves and wants to try some things in bed, make things a little kinkier, sexier, and just enjoy themselves. So then the guy, when they're in the room, you see him pop a Viagra, and he starts to get all ooh. Then he, you know, pulls out these handcuffs and handcuffs the girl to the bed. And so you're like, oh shit, they about to get it on. They're trying, like, they are really trying to like spice things up. And so then the girl freaks out. She's like, I don't like this. Like, if this is what it takes, I don't want to do it. Freaks out. He gets pissed. Then in the middle of them arguing, after their argument, he fucking has a heart attack and dies. Now, this isn't a spoiler. It's in the trailer. This is one of the things that happens and they announce it. He dies, falls off the fucking bed, and bitch is still handcuffed to the bed. And I was like, oh God, what's gonna happen? You're just sitting there the whole time like, oh my God, is this what's gonna happen? What is she gonna do next? And throughout the time of her being handcuffed, she starts to like see shit and see things and hear voices, and she gets visions, and there's like flashbacks to her childhood, and then it really makes you understand a little bit more like why she freaked out when he put the handcuffs on her, and why they have troubles in their marriage and stuff like that. Like, it slowly tells you a little bit of that. And I do say slowly because this one, even though I did like it, it was a little slow. Like, the very beginning, I was just kind of like, So it is a little bit of like a slow period. I wouldn't say more than like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But other than that, I really, really liked it. The moral of the story and like what actually happened had me like, whoa. The only thing is, if you've seen that movie or if you go watch it, let me know what you grabbed from that ending, because I did not fucking understand the ending. I was like, what? Like, even my mom, when we watched it together, we both looked at each other like, what the fuck? Like, we didn't get what that thing was at the end. So, if you know what I'm talking about, tweet me or write me on Instagram. Let me know what the hell you got from that, because I don't get it at all. I'm home alone right now, you guys, and I keep hearing shit in my kitchen. And I know for a fact I'm home alone, like, for a fact, so I really don't want to leave this room right now because it is very lit up. And I have this theory, tell me if you're the same, that if you're in daylight, nothing can happen to you. Daylight saves you. But if you're in the nighttime, that's why I enjoy watching scary movies at night. Because in my mind, I'm like, ooh, girl, risk it by watching it at night because it's scarier. I don't know. I'm weird. But yeah, I keep hearing shit and I'm kind of liking it because I'm weird. I like being scared. I know that's weird. I don't like being scared in like real life situations where like I actually have to like, look what's going on. But I like being scared where like I'll watch a scary movie and I will be having a nightmare, and I sometimes don't remember the nightmares, but I know I was having a nightmare that had to do with the movie. And I'll wake up in the middle of the night in like a cold sweat, like, and then I'll wake up like, ha, bitch, you played yourself, now you're dreaming, go back to bed. And then I go back to bed. But like, I don't mind that because, I don't know, it's fun, I guess. I don't know. Also, another thing that's really weird, my camera keeps cutting in and out because I have my monitor over here. And I'm talking to the camera and everything's cool, but then I look over and it like goes in and out and freezes. And I'm like, that never has happened. Out of the last month that I have been filming videos for, that's never happened. So this is getting really creepy, you guys. And spirits, if you can hear me, I'm getting a little creeped out. I don't want to show my wussy side on camera, so please stop. So the last movie I'm going to review is the movie The Disappointments Room. That one looked really cool when I saw the trailer. So this one's really good. This one is with Kate Beckinsale. So it was really hard to do while lining my lips. So basically it's about this family. They found this beautiful home in the countryside. They want to, you know, rebuild it and just remodel it, renew it, make it a brand new home. And as they do that, they start to kind of realize that this like old house has a little bit of a history to it. The main character, which I believe her name in the movie is Dana, she kind of starts to have visions and starts to have all these like flashbacks of her past, which I didn't get at first. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Then as the movie continues, I'm like, oh shit, yep, that would do it. So she has crazy visions, she has dreams, she starts to lose track of time. She like is just like going through it, right? So then one minute, I believe she's trying to sneak that she smokes cigarettes from her family. So she like sneaks outside and she's like down like for kind of far away from her house, and she's outside and she kind of like turns around and faces her house and notices, clearly sees a hand turn off this light in like the attic that it looked like. So then the next day she goes up there, she tries to see like what the fuck. She asks like, hey, who was up in the attic? Why were you guys in the attic? How did you get in there? And the son and the dad are like, I don't know what you're talking about. So she goes through this whole box of keys, and it's kind of like those old school like skeleton keys that kind of open all the doors. She goes through her floor plans and notices that this actual room in the attic isn't on the floor plan. So she's like, what the fuck? There's no key that opens it. This door will not open. So the more and more she tries to open it, because she keeps getting things like visions and shit that's like fucking with her head. So she's like, what's going on? So she finally like reaches up on like the outer part of the door and finds the key that opens the door. So she like opens the door, and when she's in there, she realizes that it's like a steel door, small room, one tiny window, like soundproof, you can't hear shit, cement walls. So she's like, what the hell? And the door actually slams on her. She gets stuck in there. She's freaking out, losing her shit. So she's screaming for her husband, screaming for help. No one can hear her. And every time she looks outside the window, she sees this black dog. And at first I was like, oh shit, when they get a dog. But she even starts to get weirded out by the dog, because every single time she looks out the window, this dog's like death staring her. So she's like, what the hell? And she like gets locked in there, gets trapped in there. She feels like it's been like hours and hours and hours. And then when she goes downstairs, it's only been like 10 minutes. And so she's like losing her shit, right? And as she has more and more visions and goes back into that goes back into that room, she realizes that that house has like a really creepy past. The owners that were previously in there were like bad people, and like things around the house are going crazy. There's these two mirrors that once you watch it, you'll realize what the two mirrors are. You'll realize what the dog is, and like it's really creepy. Kind of tells a story of like in the olden days when you had a child that you were disappointed in. That's where you would keep them. You would just throw them in this room, lock them in there like fucking like animals that no one cares about, and they would just die. And so I'm like, oh my god, that's horrible. So as the story goes, you kind of realize like why she's having these visions. You find out more about the house. I really enjoyed it, and I don't know, I would say it's like a thriller scary. It was definitely scary because I had nightmares. So I know for a fact it was scarier, it was creepy. I fully enjoyed that one. That one was really good. Like I said, it was creepy. It had all the elements that like a scary movie has. And it had one thing where like once I finally realized why they were trying to start over and like redo their whole life, I was like, and it was like sad. So I was like, fuck, like, okay, I get it. This one I did like it. It did have a really good storyline. It was creepy. It was scary, and it made me shit myself and, you know, have scary dreams. So that's all I look for in a movie. Do I shit myself? Do I jump through it? And if I have a nightmare. So I really liked that one. And it looks like those are the 5 movies. I really enjoyed this actually. I'll slowly get better at this, you know. I'm trying to just watch more and more movies and practice. If you enjoyed this video, you guys, make sure you give it a thumbs up. You subscribe to my channel. And you let me know if you want to see other scary movie reviews. I love scary movies, so I want to stay true to me. I love makeup, but how do I incorporate scary movies into this? Because that shit I love. So that was it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!